I swear, I didn't even see her until it was almost too late. The sun was burning overhead that afternoon on my ranch. The sky this perfect Arizona blue, not a care in sight, just a few lazy clouds floating by. I was busy backing up my old John Deere, just trying to haul some timber through a freshly painted gate. A gate I'd made fire engine red, because honestly, why not? I liked the boldness, the color popping like a flag against all that dusty beige earth and battered old fencing. To me, it was just a gate, nothing more. But to Marlene Crowley, our lovely HOA president, it was apparently a declaration of war. And believe me, she let me know, storming onto my land like she was marching into a revolution. "You're violating community standards," she shrieked, face flushed, a flurry of legal papers shaking in her hand. I barely had time to cut the engine before she was right there, heels stuck in the dirt, arms flailing. I honestly thought she might just wipe out, but she didn't. She did something way worse. She planted herself right in front of my moving tractor. I hit the brake hard. The whole machine bucked and groaned, front wheel just nudging the gravel by her toes. For a second, I really thought she might faint, her eyes bugging out like a cartoon. I opened the cabin door slow, stepped down, keeping my voice calm. "Marlene, what in the world are you doing?" She didn't answer, just stood there shaking, clutching that paper so tight I thought it might ignite right there in her hand. And then, she screamed, "Repaint the gate, or I'll sue you for attempted murder." That's when Duke, my dog, came charging out, barking his head off, and honestly, that's where this whole mess really started. But before I get into what happened after my tractor almost turned the most annoying woman in Arizona into a news headline, let me rewind a bit, just so you understand how this whole powder keg even got lit. 6 weeks before the tractor drama, I was just a regular guy. Jake Harmon, 48, retired firefighter, the new owner of a 20-acre ranch outside Prescott, Arizona. I'd inherited some money from my uncle, bought the land, and was busy living out my quiet country dream, miles from the nearest strip mall or city noise. The best part? My place wasn't even in the HOA. I triple-checked before buying. I had the title, the survey, all the documents. This property was free territory, or so I thought. Then, out of nowhere, here comes Marlene one morning, clipboard in hand, ruler in the other, staring me down across the fence. "This fence is 3.2 inches too high," she announced, not even bothering to introduce herself. "Morning to you, too," I replied, but she didn't smile. "I'm Marlene, president of Clear Ridge HOA. You've had 3 violation notices already." I just blinked. "No, ma'am, I haven't, and I'm not part of Clear Ridge." She glared. "That's what you think." She spun on her heel and left, and that's when the letters started showing up. At first, I ignored them. Cheap paper, no return address, a joke, really. But then came the early morning knocks, the clipboard crew, even a teenager flying a drone over my yard. You know what I mean? Things got weirder every day. Now, let me introduce some of the characters caught up in this circus. There's Ellie, my niece. She came to live with me after college didn't pan out. She's all TikTok energy and never without her phone, usually filming Duke doing something dumb. There's Ree, my neighbor and old firefighter buddy, who has his own grudges with the HOA. And there's Miss Dolores, 82, been here since the 50s, barely talks. But when she does, you'd better listen. Dolores warned me, "They'll come after you, son." I laughed it off, but she was right. One morning, there was a new notice taped to my gate, color violation. Apparently, the HOA only allowed dull, lifeless colors, gray, taupe, whatever. So, naturally, I went to the hardware store, found the brightest red paint they had, and went to work. Ellie filmed the whole thing, even added dramatic music. The video went viral. I didn't care, but Marlene did. Oh, she did. 3 days later, she showed up with her 2 sidekicks, Gerald, who looked like he still lived with his mom, and Tanya, who filmed the confrontation like she was making a documentary. Marlene snapped, "This is vandalism." "Nope," I sipped my lemonade. "This is my land. You'll be hearing from our lawyers," she said. Fine by me. I went inside, printed 5 copies of my deed, and hand-delivered one to her porch the next morning. After that, it got personal. My mailbox disappeared. Trash bins overturned. Ellie's car got egged. Someone tried letting Duke out one night. Lucky for me, I had cameras. Footage wasn't clear, but you could guess who it was. Ellie was spooked. but I kept telling her it'd blow over. Then the final notice came, promising fines in court if I didn't comply by Friday at 4 p.m. Friday came fast. At 3:58, tires crunched outside. I was hauling wood when I saw the HOA crew pulling up. Marlene stormed the gate, screaming about defiance and disrespect, Gerald and Tanya just hanging back, wide-eyed. I was busy with the tractor, barely saw her until she was right in front of me, screaming. I hit the brake. Dust everywhere. The tractor stopped just shy of her toes. Marlene started shrieking, "Murder!" and called 911 right there. Sheriff Bill Rohr rolled up, grizzled, calm, not a man to waste words. Marlene was shrieking about attempted vehicular assault. Bill just watched the phone video Ellie took, twice, then turned to Marlene. "Ma'am, looks to me like you walked right into the path of a moving vehicle." Marlene gasped. "He's dangerous." "No," Bill said. "He's careful, and you're trespassing." He pulled out his clipboard. "This land is not under your HOA. Jake can paint his gate any color he wants." Gerald mumbled, "Told you so," and Marlene's face went purple. "You're provoking him," Bill finished, and told her to leave before he charged her with harassment. She stomped off, her minions in tow. But Bill wasn't done. He sat with me and Ellie on the porch, Duke at my feet, telling me, "Legally, you're in the clear. But Marlene isn't finished. She thrives on control, and you just humiliated her. Watch your back." He was right. The next morning, my gate was open, the lock snapped. There were fresh tire marks by the barn, and the security camera footage had been wiped. Rhea offered to stay over, shotgun in hand. Nothing happened that night, but the tension hung heavy. On Sunday, Marlene came again, this time with a pie and a creepy, too-sweet apology. "Can we talk?" she asked. We walked to the gate. She offered me the pie. "Peach," she said. "I'm allergic," I lied. Her smile vanished. "You embarrassed me," she hissed. "I will make this right." "Go home," I said, but she just leaned in, voice dropping. "You're not the only one who can move heavy machinery." And then she left. Next morning, I heard metal crashing. Ran outside. My gate, or what was left of it, was scattered across the drive. A massive bulldozer, yellow, idling, parked dead center on my land. Ellie burst out filming. Who would do this? But we both knew. The bulldozer was rented under Marlene's name, confirmed by a call from the rental company. I had the proof in my inbox within hours. But the real twist came when Miss Dolores brought over a box, old maps, meeting notes, and the original HOA boundary, stopping 400 feet before my property. "You're the first to fight back," she smiled. I filed suit, property destruction, trespassing, misuse of funds. Marlene was served on her porch, didn't yell, just stared, cold and silent. That night, my ranch lights died. Wires cut. That was it. Ray and I decided to visit the HOA office. We found it trashed, files gone, Gerald beaten and half-conscious by the copier. "Not Marlene," he whispered. "Some guy? She hired him to wipe everything. She's hiding something, Jake." Sheriff Bill arrived, found one photo still tacked up. An old map, clear as day. My property wasn't HOA land. "She's been faking documents for years," he said. Ellie's video about the bulldozer and break-in went viral. Comments flooded in. Turns out Marlene's bullying wasn't just aimed at me. Suddenly, the world was watching. Marlene called an emergency meeting, tried to turn the crowd on me, but I brought the receipts. Ellie went live. 20,000 people watched Marlene collapse at the podium. Tanya confessed there was a safe in Marlene's house, filled with evidence of fraud. That night, we followed Tanya to Marlene's place, found the safe, cracked it, and pulled out enough proof to bury an HOA. As we finished, a black SUV rolled up. Men in dark clothes tried the door. Marlene's cleanup crew. We slipped out the back, documents in hand, straight to Sheriff Bill, who called in the FBI. Marlene vanished, but we had what we needed. Federal charges dropped like hail. HOA dissolved. Town came together, built me a new, even redder gate, painted big as hope. Ellie's video reached the front page. She won a regional award, built herself a studio in our old storage room. Dolores got a county plaque for boundary record keeping. The town changed. People talked about power and abuse, and how a little courage could ripple out and change things. I saw Marlene once more, months later, at the hardware store. She looked tired, beaten. "You were right," she said quietly. "The land wasn't mine to control. I just needed to feel important. I told her the truth. Kindness gets you farther than any title. She nodded, walked away, gone for good. Now, the red gate stands brighter than ever, a little faded, but solid. The ranch is peaceful, Ree's deck is finished, Ellie's documentary wins awards, and me? I sleep again. Sometimes, neighbors stop by, share their stories about fighting back. Ellie reads me comments. Folks all over winning their own little gate wars. I just smile. We did it together, I say. And maybe that's what matters most, standing your ground, telling the truth, and never, ever repainting your gate just because someone else can't stand the color red. So what about you? Ever stand up for something that seemed small but turned out to mean everything? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to know how far the fight for a red gate can reach.